Hello, everyone. I often think about how much of our lives we spend looking at others, comparing, questioning, maybe even wishing. It's so easy to feel like everyone else is getting it right, like they're a step ahead or somehow living a life that seems just better. And you know what? It's natural to feel that way. But here's the thing, every single second you spend focused on someone else's life, you are giving away a piece of your life. You're letting a little bit of your own magic slip away. In a world where we are constantly bombarded by images, achievements, and lifestyles of others, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters in our own lives. We see what people share online, their stories, their accomplishments, and without realizing it, we start to compare. We measure ourselves against their achievements, often seeing only the polished results without understanding the depth of work, sacrifice, and challenges that may have come along with it. But the reality is, each person has their own journey. And we each have our own set of goals, our own unique timeline, and our individual lessons to learn. Focusing on who you are becoming allows you to put energy into shaping the future that's meant for you rather than using it to feel inadequate based on someone else's life. When we place too much attention on others, we start to lose our sense of self, our personal direction, and our inner voice. What we focus on grows. If we continuously focus on what others have or who they are, it takes away from the energy we could be pouring into our own growth, our dreams, and our passions. Think about it. Imagine if you woke up every day fully committed to understanding what lights you up, to improving yourself in ways that align with your values and purpose. How different would your days feel if you poured into that well every single day? By committing to growth and self-reflection, you begin to cultivate a life that is uniquely yours, one where you're driven by internal purpose rather than external validation. Focusing on your own journey allows you to develop resilience, confidence, and a sense of fulfillment that only grows with time. With each step of personal growth, you gain clarity on what matters most to you. You may find that what you thought you wanted was actually shaped by what others expect or what society labels as success, but when you stay present in your own journey, there's an incredible freedom that comes with realizing that your growth doesn't have to look like anyone else's. In fact, it's far more meaningful when it doesn't. And here's something else that's important. Understanding who you are becoming opens up a world of endless possibilities. When you're focused on others, your perspective narrows. You limit yourself to thinking in terms of their achievements, their benchmarks, and their standards. But when you turn inward, you open yourself up to the incredible, limitless potential that lies within you. You give yourself permission to dream bigger, to take chances, to push boundaries you might have never considered before. That freedom, that boldness only comes when you stop trying to live up to what others are doing and start asking yourself what you really want from life. As you focus on becoming the best version of yourself, it's normal to encounter setbacks, to face moments of doubt, to experience fear. That's part of growth. Growth isn't always comfortable or predictable. There will be days when it feels like nothing is changing, and then there will be moments where you realize you've come so much further than you even thought possible. Embracing these moments is part of understanding who you're becoming. It's part of letting go of the need for comparison and beginning to find joy in the process of becoming more of yourself. Each step forward, each moment of learning, no matter how small, becomes a part of your personal journey, your story. As you continue to prioritize who you are becoming, the distractions around you start to fall away. You'll find that the noise of others' lives, the comparisons, and the insecurities begin to quiet down. When we engage in comparisons, it can feel like a natural part of life. We see what others are doing, and we wonder if we're keeping up, if we're falling behind, if there's something we're missing. Yet, in those moments, we seldom recognize the deeper impact this act of comparison has on us. Every time we measure ourselves against others, we're giving away a piece of our power, a part of our energy that could be directed toward our own goals, our own happiness, and our own growth. Instead of growing what's meaningful to us, we inadvertently start letting someone else's story influence our own. And the price we pay for that is high. We become distracted, self-critical, and even discouraged. But what if, instead of looking outward, we reclaim that energy, bringing it back to the center of our lives and using it to nurture our own path? Comparing ourselves to others is like trying to measure two completely different journeys with the same ruler. Think about it. Each one of us has a unique story shaped by our own experiences, our own struggles, our own triumphs. our own. We don't see all the nuances of someone else's life. We only see what's on the surface, what they choose to share, or what's visible to us. But beneath that surface, every person has had their own set of obstacles, challenges, and sacrifices that we may never know. And when we compare ourselves to a limited view of someone else's life, we're making judgments based on incomplete information. We start creating stories about ourselves that aren't even true. We may tell ourselves that we're not good enough, that we're not doing enough, that somehow we're lacking. And each time we tell ourselves those stories, we're reinforcing them, giving them more power than they deserve. We're feeding a narrative that doesn't serve us, one that only takes us further away from the truth of our own worth. Imagine if instead of looking around at what everyone else is doing, we chose to look within. Imagine if we focused on recognizing and appreciating the progress we're making, no matter how small it might seem. When we redirect our attention to our own growth, we're able to see the journey for what it really is, a process of becoming, of learning, of evolving. Every step we take forward, every lesson we learn, every small victory is a building block toward who we're meant to be. And that's where true power lies. True power isn't found in keeping up with others. It's found in embracing our own journey and recognizing the beauty in our own progress. When we give ourselves permission to focus on our own growth, we free ourselves from the burden of comparison. We're no longer carrying the weight of someone else's expectations, achievements, or path. We're able to walk lighter, more freely, and with a sense of purpose that's rooted in who we are, not in who someone else is. It's easy to forget that the journey of growth is a deeply personal one. No one else can live your life for you. No one else can feel the depth of your experiences, understand the complexity of your dreams, or know the extent of your potential. Only you can. And when you focus on nurturing that potential, on feeding those dreams, you're honoring the uniqueness of your own journey. You're giving yourself the chance to grow into who you're meant to be without the limitations that comparison brings. You're allowing yourself to fully embrace the process of becoming, to take each step with intention and purpose, knowing that this is your path and no one else's. There's a strength that comes from focusing on your own growth, a resilience that builds over time. Because when you're committed to nurturing yourself, you're not just growing in moments of success. You're growing in every challenge, every setback, every failure. You're learning from each experience, gathering wisdom, and becoming more equipped to face whatever comes your way. Reclaiming your power means acknowledging that you don't need to be anyone but yourself. It means realizing that your worth isn't dependent on someone else's journey or someone else's achievements. Your worth is rooted in who you are, in your values, your character, and your actions. When you begin to see yourself through this lens, you're able to recognize the strength, resilience, and potential that lie within you. You're no longer seeking validation from the outside world. Instead, you're finding it within. You're building a foundation of self-worth that doesn't waver in the face of others' success or failures. You're cultivating a sense of confidence that isn't shaken by what others think, do, or achieve. And that confidence, that self-assurance, is a power that no one can take from you. As we focus on nurturing our own growth, we start to understand that every person's journey is uniquely their own. We come to realize that just as we have our own challenges and triumphs, so does everyone else. We stop viewing others as competitors or benchmarks and begin to see them as fellow travelers on their own paths. We recognize that their success doesn't take away from ours. It doesn't diminish our potential or our worth. And in that realization, there's a sense of freedom. We're no longer tied to the need for comparison. We're free to celebrate others' achievements, to cheer them on without feeling that it reflects on us. We're able to be inspired by others without letting it diminish our own sense of purpose. Reclaiming our power means understanding that our growth is ours to shape, it's ours to define, to nurture, to build. We're not here to live up to someone else's standards or to fulfill someone else's vision of success. We're here to create our own path, to pursue our own dreams, to build a life that feels meaningful to us. And when we commit to that, when we truly invest in our own growth, we're able to see ourselves in a new light. We're able to recognize the power of our potential, the strength of our resilience, and the beauty of our journey. We begin to understand that our growth isn't a race, that there's no rush, no competition. There's only the process of becoming, of moving closer to the person we're meant to be. When we stop giving away our power to comparisons, we open ourselves up to a world of possibilities. We give ourselves the freedom to dream bigger, to take risks, to pursue what truly matters to us. We're no longer limited by the fear of not measuring up or the pressure to keep up. Instead, we're driven by a desire to grow, to learn, and to live in alignment with our own values. We're able to trust ourselves, to believe in our own abilities, and to know that we're capable of achieving what we set our minds to. And in that trust, we find a sense of peace. We're no longer chasing someone else's dreams, we're living our own. We're no longer striving to be someone we're not, we're becoming more of who we are. Embracing your journey is one of the most powerful gifts you can give yourself. It means accepting where you are, valuing each step, and finding peace in the process of growth and self-discovery. So often we're conditioned to think about the destination, the end goal, or the final version of success. We're led to believe that happiness will come once we've achieved certain milestones, acquired certain things, or reached a particular level in life. But what if the journey itself is where the real fulfillment lies? What if each step you take, no matter how small or challenging, holds a lesson, a growth opportunity, and a moment of joy all its own? When you start to embrace your journey, you shift your focus from needing to be somewhere else to appreciating where you are right now. This shift can be transformative because it frees you from the weight of constantly feeling like you're not there yet. Instead, you begin to understand that you're exactly where you need to be. Life is a continuous process of becoming, of evolving, and each experience, whether joyful, painful, or somewhere in between, contributes to that evolution. You begin to see that there's value in the process in every step that you take, even the ones that seem to lead nowhere or the ones that involve mistakes and setbacks. Embracing your journey means understanding that these moments are all part of your growth, that they're shaping you in ways you may not fully understand yet, but that will make sense as you move forward. There's a deep peace that comes from accepting your journey. When you let go of the need to rush or to be somewhere else, you start to find joy in the present moment. You learn to appreciate the experiences you're having right now without the need to judge them as good or bad or to compare them to anyone else's. You realize that your journey is unique, that it doesn't need to look like anyone else's, and that it's okay if it unfolds differently from what you had planned. When you accept this, you give yourself permission to be present in your life, to engage fully with the here and now, and to allow each experience to teach you, to shape you, and to bring you closer to your true self. This peace in your journey also frees you from the constant need for validation or approval. When you're focused on your own growth, you're less affected by the opinions and judgments of others. You understand that no one else can truly know your path, that only you can feel the meaning behind each step you take. You become less concerned with whether others understand or approve of your choices, because you know that your journey is yours alone. This doesn't mean that you shut people out or ignore advice. It simply means that you trust yourself, that you have faith in your own ability to navigate your life and to make decisions that align with your values and aspirations. This self-trust is a powerful foundation for inner peace and confidence. Embracing your journey also involves being patient with yourself. Growth doesn't happen overnight, and self-discovery is rarely a straight line. There will be times when you feel lost, uncertain, or even frustrated with your progress. You may encounter setbacks, challenges, and moments of doubt, but when you commit to embracing your journey, you learn to see these moments as part of the process rather than obstacles. You begin to understand that growth often happens in ways you can't always see, that sometimes it's happening beneath the surface in ways that aren't immediately visible or measurable. And you learn to trust that, with time, these experiences will reveal their purpose and contribute to your evolution. Part of embracing your journey means letting go of the need to control every aspect of your life. Life is full of uncertainties, and no matter how much we plan or prepare, there will always be things beyond our control. When you accept this, you open yourself up to the unexpected possibilities that life has to offer. You become more adaptable, more willing to go with the flow, and more open to the twists and turns that come your way. Instead of resisting change or trying to force things to go a certain way, you learn to flow with life, to trust that each twist and turn has something valuable to offer. This doesn't mean you stop setting goals or working toward your dreams. It simply means that you approach your journey with a spirit of openness and flexibility, allowing life to unfold in ways that may surprise you, enrich you, and bring you closer to your true purpose. When you embrace your journey, you start to recognize the beauty in imperfection. We live in a world that often glorifies perfection, that teaches us to strive for flawless results and to hide our mistakes. But the truth is, growth is messy, and real transformation is rarely neat or perfect. When you accept this, you allow yourself to embrace your own imperfections, to see them as part of your unique journey rather than flaws to be ashamed of. You begin to understand that your mistakes are simply opportunities for growth, that they don't define you, and that they don't take away from your worth or your potential. You learn to forgive yourself, to be compassionate with yourself, and to appreciate the lessons that each mistake brings. And in doing so, you become more resilient, more grounded, and more at peace with who you are. Another aspect of embracing your journey is cultivating gratitude for each step. Gratitude allows you to see the value in every experience, even the ones that may seem difficult or challenging. When you approach life with gratitude, you begin to see each day as a gift, each experience as an opportunity, and each person you encounter as a teacher. This doesn't mean that you won't face challenges or that life will always be easy, but it means that you learn to find the silver lining in every situation, to look for the lessons and the growth opportunities, and to appreciate the journey for what it is. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have, and it helps you to stay connected to the present moment, to find joy in the small things, and to recognize the abundance that surrounds you. Embracing your journey also means acknowledging your own resilience. Life will test you in ways you may not expect, but each test is an opportunity to discover your own strength. When you face challenges head-on, when you rise above adversity, and when you keep moving forward despite the difficulties, you prove to yourself that you are capable, that you are strong, and that you can handle whatever comes your way. This resilience builds over time, and with each challenge you overcome, you become more confident in your ability to navigate life's ups and downs. You begin to see yourself as someone who can weather storms, who can adapt to change, and who can find a way forward no matter what. This resilience is a powerful asset on your journey, and it serves as a reminder that you are far stronger and more capable than you may realize. When you embrace your journey, you also open yourself up to connection. Life is not meant to be traveled alone, and when you're fully present on your path, you become more open to connecting with others who are on their own journeys. You begin to see the value in sharing experiences, in learning from others, and in offering support and encouragement. These connections enrich your journey, providing you with new perspectives, insights, and inspiration. When you embrace your journey, you understand that each person you meet has something to offer, and that by being open to connection, you're allowing yourself to grow in ways that may not have been possible on your own. These connections remind you that while your journey is uniquely yours, it's also part of a larger tapestry of human experience, one that connects us all. Finally, embracing your journey means allowing yourself to dream. When you're at peace with where you are, you're more likely to feel inspired, to feel hopeful about the future, and to believe in the possibilities that lie ahead. You're able to set goals that align with your values, to pursue dreams that resonate with your soul, and to work toward a future that feels meaningful to you. When you embrace your journey, you're not afraid to dream big, because you know that the journey itself is what matters most. You know that each step you take brings you closer to those dreams, and that even if the path isn't always clear, you have the resilience, the courage, and the inner peace to keep moving forward. In embracing your journey, you create a life that is rich, meaningful, and uniquely yours. Setting boundaries is one of the most empowering and essential steps you can take on the journey to becoming your best self. Boundaries are a reflection of self-respect. They signal that you understand your own worth and value. They're not about building walls or cutting people off, but rather about defining what you need to feel healthy, secure, and supported. Boundaries help protect your energy, preserve your focus, and ensure that you're living in alignment with your values. When you establish boundaries, you're choosing to prioritize yourself and your well-being, to say yes to what nurtures you and no to what depletes you. And in a world where distractions and demands are constant, setting these boundaries is a radical act of self-care. To set effective boundaries, the first step is understanding yourself and what you need. It requires self-reflection, an honest look at what nourishes you and what drains you. This might mean considering past experiences where you felt overwhelmed, drained, or taken advantage of, and identifying what boundaries could have prevented those feelings. It could also mean recognizing the people, places, or activities that energize and uplift you, and thinking about how you can make space for more of those experiences in your life. When you're clear about what you need, you're better able to communicate it to others and stand by it with confidence. Boundaries are not one size fits all, they're deeply personal, based on your unique values, goals, and capacity. Taking the time to understand what's right for you is essential to creating boundaries that truly serve you. Once you've identified your boundaries, communicating them is the next step. This can sometimes be challenging, especially if you're used to putting others' needs before your own, or if you fear conflict. But setting boundaries doesn't have to be confrontational or forceful. It's about expressing your needs with clarity and respect, both for yourself and for others. You can communicate a boundary gently but firmly, explaining what you need and why it's important to you. People who respect you will understand and appreciate your honesty, and those who react negatively may reveal themselves as individuals who don't have your best interests at heart. Setting boundaries is not about seeking approval or validation from others, it's about respecting yourself enough to ask for what you need, regardless of how others may respond.